No one could have imagined the horror that was quietly unfolding. For decades, this crime was buried, hidden behind closed doors and false smiles. They told you a story, a simple, tragic tale. But the reality is far darker, far more twisted than anyone could imagine. What you're about to hear was hidden from the world until now. And what we uncovered next changes everything. It started on a cold, rainy night. A man vanished from his home, leaving nothing but an empty bed and a trail of unanswered questions. Neighbors whispered about strange noises, footsteps in the hall, a door slamming, a scream muffled by the storm. But when the authorities arrived, they found nothing, no signs of struggle, no clues, nothing. Everyone assumed he had left on his own, but then the strange details began to surface. Years later, a box was found in a forgotten storage unit, its lock rusted and fragile. Inside, letters, photographs, and journals that painted a terrifying picture. The man's own handwriting told a story of paranoia, fear, and someone watching him. One entry stood out: "They are closer than I thought. I don't know who I can trust anymore." Who could have imagined that these words would point to something far more sinister than a simple disappearance? Witnesses began speaking up, neighbors who had been too scared to say anything. One woman revealed she had seen a shadowy figure near the man's house in the days leading up to his vanishing. Another described a car that appeared night after night, parked just out of sight. And that's when the first shocking truth emerged: the very people sworn to protect the community were hiding evidence. Documents recovered from a sealed police file revealed connections no one expected. Names of officials, business owners, even friends of the missing man, all tangled in a web of secrets. And then, the unthinkable became clear: the people he trusted most were not allies, they were hiding the darkest part of the story. But that's not even the worst part. Hidden cameras discovered in his own home revealed moments that no one could have predicted. Footage showing a figure entering and leaving at odd hours, a presence that seemed almost invisible. Everything we thought we knew about this case was about to change. If you want to see what they tried to hide next, stay tuned. The footage revealed something terrifying, something no one expected. The figure wasn't just watching, it was leaving messages, cryptic signs that only the missing man seemed to understand. A notebook was later found, filled with symbols, names, and dates that made no sense to anyone else, except that they pointed to a network of people involved in something far more sinister than anyone could have imagined. Everything the man had feared was true, and the authorities who claimed ignorance were hiding the most shocking evidence of all. Witnesses came forward with stories that made investigators shiver. One neighbor swore she saw a person carrying a heavy bag late one night, disappearing into the shadows. Another remembered a phone call the man received days before he vanished, a call that left him pale and trembling. What we found next will leave you speechless. Forensic reports long buried in a locked cabinet suggested the man had been tracking someone he knew was dangerous. His journals hinted at meetings in abandoned buildings, whispered threats, and encounters that escalated quickly into violence. No one could explain why the authorities ignored these warnings for so long. And then came the twist that no one saw coming: the person responsible for orchestrating the disappearances wasn't a stranger. It was someone in plain sight, someone the town trusted completely. Friends, colleagues, even family members had been complicit, hiding the truth behind smiles and polite greetings. The investigation uncovered hidden bank accounts, encrypted messages, and secret trips, all pointing to a calculated plan that spanned years. And as we dug deeper, it became clear: this was not a random act. This was a methodical, twisted operation designed to stay hidden until now. Everything you thought you knew about this case is about to change, because the next revelation shattered everything. Forensic evidence linked the missing man to people he considered allies, the very people he relied on for protection. And the reason behind it all is more shocking than anyone could imagine. The truth has been buried for decades, but now it's finally coming to light. And the next revelation will change everything you thought you knew about trust, power, and the darkness lurking behind closed doors. Check the next episode to uncover more shocking truths. Support me in the description, and subscribing keeps you on the front line of every hidden story.